Welcome back to Les Schwab Tire Center's Outdoor GPS, presented by Fisherman's Marine and Outdoor. Now it's time for your weekend tech tip, brought to you by Chevy Silverado.
Welcome back, everyone. This week's Chevy Silverado tech tip, let alone, I'm just short of 1,000 miles on my 2024 2500 HD High Country, by the way. I say it that way because I just love that truck. I'm already seeing, as the motor breaks in, you'll see a diesel start to get a little bit better gas mileage. And I'm a geek. I'll look at the little computer thing constantly, right? Because I want to get the most fuel economy possible. Now, with 37s and a 7-inch lid,
yeah, right.
You're not usually thinking much about your fuel economy, but I just watched that thing, and it went from 5 and 6 miles to the gallon, towing my boat, which is 3,500 pounds, to now 8 and 8.5, which is much, much better. And I think a lot of that could be for other reasons. But anyway, I got sidetracked. I really like my truck.
It's going in the right direction, though.
I'm going in the right direction.
Yeah.
All right, here's a question from FZ from our Facebook page. He says, if I attach an adhesive light to his Evolution flasher, should he mount it in the center or slightly forward? And I'm going to add on to that, or slightly back. So it's a good question, because there are flashers out there that do have lights on them. So with that Kershaw Tech Cam, we can get a shot here of that Evolution flasher. If you were thinking along those lines, where would you put that light?
For me, there'd only be one choice. We want to keep this thing balanced, right?
Right.
Not have it offset on one side, offset on the other, so that brings us right to dead center.
Okay.
So I would be dead center on it. We want to have the right action, keep the action, and with a light, that will still get you the action. It's got enough bend in it, enough thump, that it will.
The only thing that I would add to that at all is think of the profile of that light. If that light comes up or goes on and it changes how thick it is, like if it's standing way up, I wouldn't even use it, to be honest with you. If it's low profile enough where it's not going to interfere, these blades, one of the reasons why this Evolution is so evolutionary, God, I'm good at that stuff.
You are.
Is it's bladed, right? It's actually beveled on one side, so it actually helps with the speed. No, none of the other 360s out there are beveled like that. So again, all that stuff is super important. If you put a light on there and it sticks up 1/4 of an inch, you're going to slow the rotation down, and you might, just not be as effective as you might want. So put it on. Do exactly what Scott's saying. Right in the middle of everything. Right in the middle, so that you got good balance. But just make sure that it's not too tall, FZ, of a light to where it's going to slow things down, because that's where these 360s are really, really obviously very effective, is that it's got that rotation, that it's giving you that thump on its rotation when everything's done correctly. But I thought it was a good question. I mean,
that's a great question. Just to take it one step further, too, right? We can adjust the speed, too. So depending on what he's got going on here, he can adjust the speed and get the thump that he wants, that's a game changer.
I completely forgot. It's already been pre-drilled. It's got 3 holes. It's the only one on the market that I'm aware of that has something like that, at least in an 11-inch style flasher. So you got the different holes to use as well, FC. So if you did put that on there and slow down a bit, I'd go right to that middle hole, and you're going to probably make up that difference. So certainly something to play with. Anything in the works for you guys like that? I mean, are you done with this particular flasher? Or
no,
improvements?
We're always.
How does that process work for a manufacturer?
It happens a lot of times, just like tips like this. From a viewer. Somebody hitting you up on your Facebook page, and thank you for doing that. Or, just going out and tinkering with it, or just an idea, or, long winters with a lot of rain and people sitting around with maybe a glass of, you name it. What if we...
I totally get it.
What if... Have you ever thought about...
I know you get a lot of that stuff, especially at like sports shows.
It's cool. And I love, and thank you guys for everybody, guys and gals, coming out to sports shows. It was great. I love seeing everybody.
Was that season pretty good? I mean, you had a lot of shows that you were at.
It was busy, and it was great. I hate the setup, hate the tear down, but always really enjoy talking with the people. We've got some really good...
Wait a second. You're one of the owners, right? Delegate, man. Are you kidding me? Just fly in when you're done. He's just too nice to do.
Hey, Brad, can you handle that for me? Please set up and tear down. How'd that go?
We missed Brad this morning.
We did. He's out camping. He's fishing today.
Is he really?
Rufus Woods.
Oh, very cool.
So we hope to have a report from you, Brad, and some nice pictures.
Yes, we'd love to be able to share that. One of the things I'm going to make sure that we mention here, is that there are multiple different ways to run one of these Evolution flashers, and I'm going to kind of give up how I had success with it last year. Although my success, and it was very well documented here last year for Summers and Fall Chinook in particular, I really struggled. But the days that I did get saved on more than one occasion with one of these Evolutions, I don't actually run the bungee, and I'm going to tell you why, okay? For a couple different reasons. One, I like setting up my leader off this hole that's already pre-drilled. We've talked about this in the past, offsetting it and then clipping directly to the top, or even using the wash, or excuse me, the dual lock here in the middle to change the speed without the bungee. Now the bungee obviously has some advantages, but I really like how the thump that you can get with this particular blade. And I know that the original designer of it, that was one of the reasons why that hole is here. We'll talk, I mean, we could probably talk at length about that. But that thump that it'll give you at the bottom of that rotation really is very interesting, and fish seem to really kind of gravitate to that. All right, so we're going to cut to a break. When we come back, I want to pick up, you had mentioned different leader lengths and stuff like that behind either the 360 or the inline fish flash, right? Let's come back. We're going to talk about that and maybe pick up where we left off from our previous segment about when, and maybe we can even touch base on how to fish them from the bank, maybe?
Let's do it. You betcha.
Everybody stick with us here on KPDX. We'll be back.
Outdoor GPS is brought to you by Yakima Bait, steeped in tradition, innovation, and fishing success. And by Procure Bait Sense, ruthlessly effective.